I surveyed 47 mechanics across Europe, asking one simple question: what do you drive? Nearly all drove cars from 2008 to 2015, with most preferring 2010 to 2012. The head technician at a Mercedes dealership drives a 2009 Honda Accord. A BMW master technician dailies a 2008 Škoda Octavia. The Audi specialist who charges €120 per hour? He bought a 2010 Toyota Avensis for €3,500. These are people who can fix anything, who get parts at cost, who know every secret warranty extension, and they're all choosing cars from the same era. When I discovered why, it changed how I look at every modern car. They've identified a sweet spot in automotive history that nobody talks about, and once you understand it, you'll see why they avoid newer models. There's a clear pattern among professional mechanics. Most drive cars from 2008 to 2015, with a particular love for 2010 to 2012 models. This isn't poverty or stubbornness, it's informed choice based on what they see in their workshops every day. These are people who witness every failure, know repair costs intimately, and understand exactly when cars shifted from being repairable machines to rolling computers. They've identified a period where cars achieved the perfect balance of reliability, features, and critically, repairability without needing dealer-specific tools. While newer cars might have lower failure rates on paper, the reality mechanics see it different. When modern cars break, they're exponentially more expensive and complex to fix. A simple sensor failure that cost €100 in 2010 now requires €800 in dealer programming. That's the difference mechanics understand. If you want to know the exact models mechanics are buying with their own money and why repair costs have exploded on newer cars, hit that subscribe button right now, because what you're about to learn could save you from massive repair bills. The years 2008 to 2012 represent the last era before unnecessary complexity invaded every system. This was when manufacturers had refined reliability but hadn't yet discovered how profitable complexity could be. Munich mechanic Hans Müller, who's worked on BMWs for 22 years, explained, "The E93 series from 2008 to 2011 was the last honest BMW. Good engines without stupid complexity. Actual buttons that work, and I can fix everything with normal tools. The F30 that replaced it? Timing chains that fail, electronic everything, and you need expensive diagnostic computers for basic repairs." Here's what's changed. Modern cars don't necessarily break more often, but when they do break, the costs are astronomical. Workshop data shows that a 2010 BMW 3 Series average repair cost is €420. A 2020 BMW 3 Series average repair cost is €1,280. Same frequency of visits, triple the cost. The progression is real. Cars aren't becoming more reliable, they're becoming more expensive to maintain, and that's exactly what manufacturers want. Cars from this golden era hit the perfect balance. They have the technology to be convenient, Bluetooth, USB ports, parking sensors, but not so much that independent mechanics can't fix them. No over-the-air updates that break your car, no subscription features, no mandatory dealer programming for basic repairs. Warsaw mechanic Piotr Kowalski drives a 2010 Ford Mondeo. It has everything I need: cruise control, climate control, good safety. But when something breaks, I can actually fix it. Try that with a 2020 Mondeo. You need Ford's authorization for many repairs. The shift intensified around 2013 to 2014. That's when manufacturers realized they could force customers back to dealers through software restrictions. A 2011 Volkswagen Golf? Any mechanic can service it. A 2014 Golf? Even basic service resets require proprietary tools that cost hundreds. This isn't conspiracy, it's documented. Independent mechanics report that modern vehicles increasingly require dealer-level tools for repairs that were once straightforward. Electronic parking brake pad changes, battery replacements require encoding. Even some oil changes need dealer computers. The EU's right to repair legislation is trying to address this, but manufacturers find workarounds. Through my survey and follow-up interviews, clear patterns emerged. Here are the exact cars mechanics buy with their own money. Honda Accord 2008 to 2012, 2.2 ID Tech diesel or 2.0 petrol. Amsterdam mechanic Jan Peters, bulletproof engines, timing chain that actually lasts, minimal DPF issues on the diesel. I've seen these hit 500,000 kilometers regularly. Buy one for €4,000 and drive it for 10 years. Škoda Octavia 2009 to 2013, 1.9 TDI or 2.0 TDI. Last of the really solid VAG diesels, says Prague technician Milan Novak. The 1.9 TDI is particularly robust. Yes, they need EGR cleaning and turbo care at high mileage, but these are manageable issues. Parts cost nothing. Any mechanic can fix them. Toyota Avensis, 2009 to 2015. Berlin mechanic Eric Hoffman. Boring? Yes. Unbreakable? Also yes. The 2.0 D4D is incredibly reliable when maintained. Just service it and it runs. No surprises. Mazda 6, 2008 to 2012. People forgot about these, which makes them cheap, notes Rome mechanic Giuseppe Rossi. The 2.2 diesel has some DPF issues early on, but most are sorted now. The petrol versions are bulletproof. €3,500 buys you years of reliable transport. Mercedes E-Class W212 2009 to 2012, early Euro 5 models. Stuttgart Mercedes specialist Thomas Becker. The last real Mercedes. Early OM 651 diesels before AdBlue are magnificent, simpler and very robust, but specifically early production without the complex emissions additions. Mechanics identified the exact technologies that exploded repair costs and complexity after 2012. Start-stop systems, widespread from 2013, kills batteries and stresses dual-mass flywheels, explains Lyon mechanic Francois Dubois. Saves minimal fuel but increases wear on expensive components. The battery alone costs €200 to €300 for AGM types these systems require. Direct injection only, common from 2014 plus. Carbon build-up disasters, warns Barcelona tech Carlos Martinez. Older cars often had both port and direct injection, or just port. Direct only saves manufacturing costs but creates intake valve deposits requiring €800 cleaning every 40,000 kilometers. Wet timing belts. PSA engines from 2012 plus. Catastrophic design, says Manchester mechanic James Patterson about PSA's 1.2 PureTech. Belt degrades into oil system, destroys everything. A timing chain lasts 200,000 kilometers plus. These belts fail at 60,000 if you're lucky. Electronic parking brakes, increasingly common but not mandatory. What was wrong with a cable? Asks Copenhagen tech Lars Nielsen. Now a seized brake caliper involves electronics. You need diagnostic tools to retract pistons for pad changes. Simple job became complex. Integrated infotainment controlling critical functions, 2015 plus. When the screen fails, you lose climate control, vehicle systems, everything, explains Vienna mechanic Klaus Weber. Replacement? €2,000 plus minimum. My 2009 Passat has separate controls. They'll work forever. Here's why mechanics choose older cars. It's not just purchase price, it's total ownership costs. Here's a breakdown comparison in a realistic scenario. New car approach. 2024 car purchase, €35,000. Depreciation years 1 to 3, €15,000. Maintenance and repairs years 1 to 7, €6,000. Total 7-year cost, €56,000. Mechanics approach. 2010 Honda Accord purchase, €4,000. Maintenance over 7 years, €3,000. Repairs at cost for mechanics, €1,500. Total 7-year cost, €8,500. Even paying retail for repairs, you typically spend €12,000 to €15,000 total versus $56,000 for new. The math clearly favors older cars for those who can handle occasional repairs versus constant depreciation. Interestingly, clean examples of these golden era cars are holding or even appreciating in value. A well-maintained 2010 Accord that cost €3,000 in 2020 might sell for €3,500 to €4,000 now. Specific models like clean diesel Octavias are particularly sought after. Modern cars have shifted towards expensive modular repairs. Mechanics showed me real examples. Headlight replacement. 2010 BMW 3 Series, €150 aftermarket plug and play. 2024 BMW 3 Series, €1,800 plus, requires coding. Brake pad replacement. 2010 VW Golf, €60 parts, manual tools. 2022 VW Golf, €60 parts, plus €100 diagnostic tool rental for electronic parking brake. Battery replacement. 2011 Mercedes E-Class, €120, no programming. 2023 Mercedes E-Class, €120 battery plus €150 coding. Helsinki mechanic Mikko Virtanen. New cars aren't owned, they're leased from manufacturers who control the repair process. My 2008 Volvo, I can fix everything myself. Mechanics revealed legal improvements they make to enhance their older cars. Aftermarket infotainment. €200 to €400 Android Auto CarPlay unit modernizes my old car, says Madrid mechanic Juan Rodriguez. Better than many factory systems. LED lighting, where legal. Proper LED bulbs that meet regulations, specifies Athens mechanic Dimitrios Papadopoulos. Check your local laws. Some retrofits aren't road legal, but proper ones improve visibility significantly. Suspension refresh. €400 in quality parts makes it drive like new. Note Stockholm Tech Eric Anderson. Compare that to €2,000 plus for one adaptive shock on modern cars. Note on emissions modifications. While some mechanics mentioned EGR and DPF modifications, these are illegal for road use in the UK and EU and can result in fines and MOT/TUV failure. We cannot recommend illegal modifications. Even in the golden era, mechanics identified cars to absolutely avoid. BMW N47 diesel 2007 to 2014. Timing chain at back of engine. When it fails, and it will, it's a massive job. Volkswagen 1.4 TSI twin charger 2006 to 2014. Turbo and supercharger? Complex and problematic. Renault Nissan 1.5 DCI early versions. Early ones had turbo failures, injector problems. Later versions improved, but still not great. Range Rover Sport, any year. If you want to keep mechanics wealthy, buy one. Every mechanic interviewed expressed concerns about long-term viability of modern cars. While saying they'll be undrivable after 10 years might be extreme, the risks are real. For example, software becomes unsupported, parts availability questionable for complex electronics, repair costs exceeding vehicle value, features locked behind expired subscriptions. Brussels mechanic Philippe Martins. A 2024 car might be technically functional in 2034, but will it be economically repairable? I doubt it. My 2009 Mondeo will definitely still be fixable in 2040. Many mechanics are indeed keeping multiple good examples from the golden era. One Polish mechanic has 3 2011 Octavias as insurance for the future. Based on mechanic consensus, here is your shopping list. Best overall. 2009 to 2012 Honda Accord 2.2 ID-Tech or 2.0 petrol. Best petrol, 2010 to 2013 Mazda 6 2.0. Best diesel, 2009 to 2013 Škoda Octavia 1.9 or 2.0 TDI. Check local emission zones. Best luxury, 2009 to 2012 Mercedes E220 CDI, W212 early models. Best compact, 2008 to 2012 Honda Civic 1.8. Best estate, 2009 to 2015 Toyota Avensis Tourer. Here's a list of what to check. Full service history, which is essential. Mileage under 150,000 kilometers is ideal. Check for rust, especially subframes. Verify timing belt or chain status. Consider emission zone compliance for diesels. Budget €3,000 to €6,000 for good examples. While these cars require more frequent maintenance than new ones, the total cost of ownership remains far lower. The pattern is clear. Experienced mechanics overwhelmingly choose cars from 2008 to 2015, particularly 2010 to 2012 models. These aren't random choices. They're informed decisions based on daily exposure to what fails and what it costs to fix. They've identified a sweet spot. Sufficient technology for convenience, but not so much that repairs become dealer-dependent catastrophes. Engines that last with basic maintenance, transmissions that don't need computers, repairs that don't require manufacturer permission. Modern cars offer more features and technology, but at the cost of repairability and long-term ownership viability. Every mechanic knows this from experience. They see the bills, hear the frustration, and watch people struggle with 5-year-old cars that cost more to fix than their value. Meanwhile, they're driving 12-year-old cars that cost less than a new car's option package, run reliably with basic maintenance, and can be fixed with normal tools. They're not living in the past. They're avoiding the expensive complexity of the present. One Frankfurt mechanic summed it up. Customers assume we drive old cars because we can't afford new ones. We drive older cars because we know what new ones really cost to own long term. The automotive industry has shifted from building lasting products to creating complex revenue streams. Mechanics have responded by voting with their wallets, choosing the last generation of honest cars over the current generation of rolling computers. What's your experience with golden era cars versus modern ones? Are you considering buying from this sweet spot? Share your thoughts below, because real-world experience beats marketing every time.